Alright guys, welcome back to the Marvel Snap video. We got one of the biggest updates in Marvel Snap history. We just got the release of Snap Packs that I think are now on the game if you update it. Hydra Stomper is dropping in about an hour. I believe there's also a new pack which has new Series 4 cards, being 3 new move cards, and alongside a bunch of new data mines that is revealed a lot of characters, including, from the looks of it, some spells. Unfortunately, as we go through the data mines, the actual card arts for the cards, which is what I wanted to see, because I wanted to see how they'll handle the first step of the Fantastic Four. Is it going to be based off the actors, or how are they going to go about doing it, right? But unfortunately, we do not have any of the actual card arts. I went in towards the file to see if it's like, these haven't uploaded it on the website, but no, there's literally nothing for the characters. In fact, one thing I think this website's missing a little bit is that this right here does say Silver Surfer first steps, which means we will be getting a new Silver Surfer card, of course being the female version, which I don't know why they call it first step. I thought they would just call it like that actual character's name. But yeah, a lot to go through here, a ton of Fantastic Four cards, so I'm excited. We'll start off with probably the most important one, and by far probably the best one, the one I'm looking forward to, because as a, or at least a Fantastic main on Marvel Rivals, I want a good read card, and we've gotten one, boys. So what I'm going to do on screen, plop right there, I'm just going to add the artwork that I made for when I did my prediction video, just so you lot know what you're looking at. I'm not going to do that for every card because I didn't make it for every card, but at least you can kind of see what we're looking at, right? So Mr. Fantastic going with the list of more broken or top tier 2 cost cards. So what he's going to do, and I will say, this is something I didn't expect them to do, and they have made all of the Fantastic Four members work together. Are you going to use all of them in one deck? Maybe. Probably you actually will. But at least when I did my prediction video, I didn't know what they will be in. Are they going to go in and go in? Are they going to go in towards, move? Are they going to go in towards discard? Where are you going to place these Fantastic Four cards? Because there's likely got to be 4 to 5 cards in that deck just based off those, right? And it looks like what they're gonna be doing is the new end of turn deck, which is actually very cool. There's not that many, we'll go for them afterwards, but yeah, let's start with Mr. Fantastic. So he is gonna be the Season Pass card, so of course if you spend money you're able to get him. However, with the new Snap Packs, you can actually wait 1 month, and after the season ends you can then get him in Snap Packs. So once again, a much better system. He is a 2/3, and yeah, remember Fastos where he gives what, -1 or +2? Yeah, so he's end of turn. Give a card in your hand, so not your deck, so probably even better actually, in your hand, +2 power or -1 cost. It doesn't say limit, so it can hit that 1 card twice. Obviously, Fastos is a little bit different because it's guaranteed to your whole deck, and if you keep on drawing, you're going to get that guarantee, right? Where if you got, let's say, like a Human Torch or, the thing in your hand, if you want to try and get plus points or -1 cost on that specific card, then it's a bit RNG, but then again, you're not going to be too upset about it. So yeah, I'm glad it's kind of the start of a new archetype in a way, which I'm looking forward to, and there are more cards to go along with him, because like I say, all of the Fantastic Four cards, including the Fantasticar and H.E.R.B.I.E, all kind of work with him. Alright, so the next card is going to be the Thing. And remember, Fantastic is given either +2 or -1 cost, so you ideally, 1, want to get this card with even more power, or 2, you want to actually lower the cost on him, so that is where Fantastic works with the Thing. But what he does do, he is a 5/6, end of turn, once again, end of turn, +2 power, so you play him on turn 5, he'll get +2, you play him or leave him on the board at the end of turn on turn 6, he's going to get 2 more plus power. Once per game, if your side here is full, destroy an enemy card here with a lesser power. If you play him on turn 5, when your location is full, he's going to destroy a card, I guess after the end of turn, so you get the +2, so he'll be 8 power, then you can destroy a card, and if you wait towards turn 6, it would then destroy a card at the end of turn with +10 power, so you might snipe a bigger card, which I want to brag a little bit. We made a prediction video on this channel predicting how the cards are going to work, and I gotta say, we were kind of close with the Thing. I had him as a 5/10, which to be fair, he does get to a 5/10 after turn 6, and my text was, if your side is full, he's going to basically not destroy a card, but he's going to disable a card and give it -2, basically like a Red Guardian effect, right? Where they've kind of done the same thing here, but just outright says, yeah, I'm not minus it, I'm not disabling it, I'm full on destroying a card, which is, yeah, kind of crazy. So I'm taking a point for that. We kind of predicted that in a way, almost. But yeah, I mean, if you watch my prediction video, I said the same thing. He's got to be a 5 cost. He's the Thing. He's got to be a big, chunky guy. He's also got to have a lot of power too, which he does get to. If you get him on turn 5, he then goes towards, obviously, 10 power. And he works well with Reed, so not too bad. And then we have the first step for Human Torch. He is going to be a 3/2, which is, okay, a little bit on the lower side, but you'll see what he does do is at the end of the turn, +1 power once per game. If your side here is full, double discard power. So they're still keeping that theme of Human Torch doubling his power. However, you don't have to move the card. All you got to do is, what you would probably do is play him out on turn 3. And remember, Fantastic, given either -1 cost or even +2 towards this card, it's going to double even more. And you just leave him in the lane, and then you just wait towards the final turn, fill up that location, and then boom, you're now doubling your power, which is obviously insane. And the best thing too, once again, this is the one thing people need to realize, it's at the end of the turn. So I'm pretty sure if it does include towards the end of the game, that means you can't get shot and cheat, right? He's going to be getting 1 power every single turn, and then just once you fill up the location at the end of the game, because it's the end of the turn, he's just going to double his power, dodging Shadow King and dodging Shang-Chi, which is just crazy. So yeah, if you get him on turn 3, you go to 3 cost. So he's a 3/12, basically. And if you played the thing on his location, then you're just running another card. It's kind of like a win more in a way. And that's once again, assuming you don't get any buffs onto him with Fantastic. Unreal card. Once again, love Human Torch as the actual card. I'm glad they kept towards the same theme of him being, you know, doubling the power. However, he's not a move card, which I'm a little bit upset about. But once again, this whole end turn feature just sounds so sick. And then we saved best for last, and I think I actually made her an activate, so we kind of got that correct in my prediction video. The Invisible Woman. The reason why I saved her for last, because as you can see, she is a free force, a little bit expensive, but once again, you can get her down early with, obviously, Reed. You can probably get around 3 as well. Activate. This turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. So your Mr. Fantastic, whether he gives +2 or -1 cost, is going to obviously happen twice. So you get 2 procs to that. Your The Thing is going to get 2+ more power if you save it for turn 5 or obviously turn 6. Your Human Torch is going to get an extra point of power, so that he's going to double even more as well. Like, see what I mean by they all work well together? It's actually very cool. If we actually go filter the cards for end of turn, there's actually some use for Invisible Woman. Probably not the best, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of like how you think she might be used a little bit, but like Adam Warlock, you can get extra draw, you can destroy something extra with a tumor. Bruce Banner will have huge chances to actually proc his ability, which might be decent. You can get 2 Doombots on 1 turn if you play exactly 1 card. You know, Isong can do his ability twice, you can get 2 Havocs. H.E.R.B.I.E can snap twice, or I guess, would it work? I don't know how that works. You can move twice off like 1 snap. Makaru's already on board. Marvel Boy could work. You get 2 procs of Red Hulk. You can eat 2 things with Supreme Strange. If you skip, that would be kind of crazy at Sunspot. If you skip, like, let's say you skip turn 5, you then get 5+ energy, and you activate the Invisible Woman, would you then get +5 energy again, so you get +10 in 1 turn? That would be kind of crazy. You can get 2 draws, but that's really RNG because your opponent has to not play a card. And then end of turn for Athena. For Athena could work as well. They don't have it here, but High Evolutionary. You got some decent ones. End of turn for Misty Knight could be decent. Although you're probably planning to spend a lot of your energy. But if Reed is discounting stuff to where you might have your Invisible Woman who's now 3 costs. She might be 2 costs. So you're playing her on turn 3 anyway. So you just have 1 extra time to get some buffs here. Or Cyclops too. So while I think, well, to be fair, Reed can just go into any deck, to be fair. Fantastic and The Thing and Torch might be more exclusive towards that deck a little bit. But you can fit them in most decks anyway. If anything, you can put Human Torch in an actual just normal, like, hand buff deck in a way, and like they have their uses outside of their what is going to be probably likely their main deck. So that's really, really cool. The fact that you got all work separately but also all work together, I think they cooked. However, there's still more. H.E.R.B.I.E is data mined to be a time limited event, series maybe series 4, I guess, right? But he is going to be a kind of Nico, but with the old Fantastic 4 ability, which is actually pretty cool. So each turn this is in play, by the way. So it's not like Nico was in your hand or your, I guess not your deck, but in your hand. It has to be in play. He's a 2/2. End of turn. Each turn this is in play, swap to a new activate ability until 1 is used. Because the reason why it says that is because there are 4 abilities. So I assume it's going to cycle through all 4 of them, and then it will rotate back towards the other one. So if you play him out on turn 2, then I guess on turn 3 swaps over. You could get this one, for example, which is activate next turn, you get +2 energy, which is pretty good. The other one is activate, give your cards at your adjacent locations +1. You can kind of see there, by the way, that is the Fantastic, or the old Fantastic ability, where he stretches over, gives +3. So that's kind of the same theme a little bit. You have activate, create a rock with 4 power here. Could work really well with Strange Supreme. That is meant to be obviously the thing. I guess this will be Invisible Woman. And then, of course, activate double discards power, which is going to go to 4. 2/4 is not bad, but you rather the other ones. And, of course, if you want to get, if you buff it up like Galacta or forge, you just get a buff somehow. You are probably won't mind it. So yeah, just kind of like the Nico buff that activates. The Fantasticar is also going to be a new Series 4 card. So once again, they did say they're going to be adding more Series 4 cards to the game. And it looks like if you're planning to get every single card, at least for the Fantastic 4 season, you definitely have to pick up this one. Because what this does say is activate, give your end of turn cards +2. Insane. I mean, if you literally put this on the board, granted it is a 4/6, so you have to play it on turn 4. Reed, once again, could get out a little bit earlier. But if you get Reed down, you get your Human Torch, you get your Invisible Woman, you then get your thing down as well. So you have the 2. It'll be 3, 3, 4, 5. It'll be kind of hard to play all of them, but obviously you're not going to get the perfect draw every single time. You can then buff up your Human Torch. Now he's doubling even more power. Your thing is now above what would be if you play him on turn 5 and you activate this. He would then go towards... what, 12 power? Will if you use this and then also Invisible Woman, would you get +2 again? So the thing's now 14 power, and Human Torch is even more points. So you just double the card again. Like there's some crazy stuff going on here with like the end of turn abilities, and that's kind of what I did early on with Misty Knight and even Cyclops, right? If you just have those cards on the board, they're just going to get +2 anyway. So even if you don't really proc Misty Knight too much, she's still going to be, if you play this card down, she's going to be what, a 1/4? That's not bad. With the chance, if you don't get the perfect curve, and if Fantastic kind of ruins it, or I guess blesses you a little bit with lowering cost of cards, then you're going to get some more procs too. Okay, Mole Man is going to be a card too. This too could be for the new game mode, but also could be for like Sanctum Showdown, where you get like 3 cards in one. But yeah, he's going to be a... Actually, we don't know what it is yet, but 3/3, on reveal, banish the top 2 cards off your deck, add 2 rocks to your hand, so you're going to basically draw 2 cards, essentially, what you're doing. However, you're not going to have the ability, but instead, you're going to have their power set to the banished card cost. So if you get Infinite, you're going to have a 120. Do you know how crazy that is? I'm not gonna lie. And it's Strange Supreme could just gobble it all up as well, right? Alright, we also have another card, which is going to be a Series 4 card, the Mad Thinker. At the start of the turn, gain +2 power if your hand is full. After you draw. 1/1 as well. So if you, I don't know how you would do it, you have to probably get Adam Warlock somehow to draw your hand, or I guess even just fill it up, right? That makes sense too. So a little bit of a buff towards Corey, a little bit, if you think about it, because you're going to have a 1 cost that scales up a little bit. +2... it can get pretty decent as long as you have like 2 or 3 times it happens. It's like a 1/5, 1/7. It's not bad. It probably won't be great, but if you're using that type of deck, you probably will do this. I mean, even a 1/3 is kind of fine. Okay, so before we go over the next leak, we go talk about this. So apparently it's going to be a new game mode called Champion Arena. We don't have much info, but it will feature champion cards you can add towards your deck that will have different abilities, but you can't use the base card. So what does that mean? You can see right here, no variant found for Skill 1 Mr. Fantastic Champion. So we're going to have champion versions of the Fantastic 4 cards. However, they will not be... like, actually, there'll be different versions of, like, Reed, I think. So if you have this in your deck, you can't use the original Mr. Fantastic. I think that's how it works. Not entirely sure, but as you can see right here, this one does say so. Remember, this, I believe, is not going to be in the official version of the game. This is only going to be in the game mode, so don't worry too much about it, because these abilities are kind of crazy. On reveal, give all your ongoing cards everywhere, -1 cost. In your hand, in your deck, is a 3/0. Plus, you can obviously use Ravonna, which is what you use anyway on ongoing cards. It's basically a Sarah, but for ongoings. And it's on reveal, so you can probably proc that twice if you actually get the chance to. Yeah, that is crazy, like I say, but remember, this is probably only for the game mode because there are some more others. So this one here, Clobbering Time. On reveal, move the thing to this location. He can repeat his destroy ability again. So we go back towards the thing. If you destroy a card on turn 5 because you filled the location up, then on turn 6, you can play that Clobbering Time. Remember, these spell cards aren't banished. They're not banishing. They sit on the board at 0 power, which is kind of what the thing wants, because you want to have 2 cards in location. You then play what would have been Clobbering Time for 1 cost. It then moves the thing towards that location, and then also repeating the destroy ability again. See, once again, that sounds crazy, and it's like, no way they're going to let that go out in like a normal game, right? But the next one kind of confused me a little bit. It's Flame On, of course. On reveal, add Human Torch's power toward the next card you play, which is going to be 2 cost 0 power. I mean, I guess that makes sense. The new Human Torch is getting buffed up, but it would be really, really cool. And I guess maybe a bit too broken if this was for the old Human Torch, because once again, you have to replace the old Human Torch with this card here for your deck in this new game mode. So you can't use the original one from the looks of it, I think, which is, Yeah, it's slightly annoying, but hey, Human Torch, from the sounds of it, if you especially buff him like crazy, he's not going to get as big as the original Human Torch, but the first step version will get pretty decent. And then you just play this for 2 power, and then literally any card for 1 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost, whatever it may be, it adds, right? It doesn't take. So if they're already 6 power, and then Human Torch is like 15, it's going to add the 15 to 6. Then we have Invisible Woman's 1. On reveal, next turn, you get +1 energy for each card with unrevealed. So you want to play this card first in your sequence, because your other cards will be unrevealed. It is 2 power, so you're not gonna, or 2 cost, sorry. So you're not gonna be able to spam cards that early. But if you do like a Mysterio, for example, Mysterio plays 3 cards in one location, obviously unrevealed if you play this card first. So once it's revealed, and if you're doing the Sasquatch and like Spring Strange deck that people have been using recently, you can play like 5-6 cards unrevealed on like turn 5, and you play this alongside of it. That could be kind of good. You can also see here, there are a bunch of effects. Once again, this might be for the new game mode. It could be for the new locations. It could be whatever it could be. But right now, we have nothing based of these. This one is for H.E.R.B.I.E. So H.E.R.B.I.E is going to be execute 2 random protocols on reveal 1 cost, which I assume will be the 2 protocols, will be 2 of the abilities that H.E.R.B.I.E already has. So right here, it will activate, or it'll be on reveal, do 2 of these, and you still have the other activate. So it'll be random as well, right? So it could be literally, next turn you get +2 power, you could do that twice, you could do any of these twice, could double the double, so we go from 2 to 4 to 8. It's RNG, so that's kind of the H.E.R.B.I.E champion skill. Dr. Doom is getting a champion skill too. This is going to be the original one, basically, which is on reveal 0/0, by the way, crazy. Replace all cards you played this turn with Doom bots. Yeah, raw. Okay, so once again, Mysterio. If you play Mysterio and you play this afterwards, those are going to all turn into towards Doom bots. If you play like a Wasp, you just play spam cards, basically. You don't have to play them, so it's not like, you know, you can play a, you know, Shana where she spawns cards. They won't actually count. But they're all going to turn to Doom bots, and I assume they're going to be 5/5. And if you have, obviously, I guess your, you know, Doom 2029, they're all buffing each other up. Yo, that's going to be crazy. But yeah, Moman also has a champion card too. He is going to be on reveal. You'll give a create card in your hand +3 power and create another copy of it. So if you do get that Infinite, you gobbled it up, right? You turn it into a rock. You can then give a +3 power and copy it again for 1 cost. It says give a create, yeah, only 1 though. Only 1, and remember, Moman does give 2, so you want to play the other one normally, and just leave the one you actually want, and you want to make sure you have no other create cards in your hand, because you can still use this, technically, as like just a random create card. So if you use like an Iron Patriot, you can then, you know, copy that create card. So there are more uses of it. Alright, I mean, they're probably going to add more champion cards towards the game. It's not just Fantastic Four cards, because apparently Carnage is getting one, which is going to be a 0/0. Maybe it gets changed later on. But he is on reveal, move Carnage towards this location, and then repeat his on reveal ability. Pretty simple one. And I think that's basically it for the like, champion cards. So yeah, a massive video. That is basically all we have for the elite cards. There are some changes towards some other cards. So I think it was Merlin, for example. Merlin before, what he does do is every single time you're going to add 1 random spell towards your hand, being Omnipresence, the Once and Future, and also the Polymorph as well. However, what they've done is they've changed it now, so they no longer banish. You have to keep these on the board, because before it might have been like the best card in the game, if you think about it, because these are all really cheap cost cards, where now if you're going to be spamming these cards, yeah, you actually have to commit a little bit and have that 1/0 on your board. However, I will say, remember, if you have the Polymorph, it does transform the lowest power card here into one that costs 2 more. So technically speaking, if you play the Omnipresence, he's now 1/0, and then you play Polymorph, and then boom, your Omnipresence is now going to turn to a 3 card. So there's some synergy, maybe better in that case a little bit, but I think overall, probably a little bit of a nerf, because it might have been like the best card in the game. So yeah, that is all the leaks for the cards. These are the new backs. Love the fact that we're getting more backs, because I think that's something that we kind of unutilized a little bit in this game. But all the Fantastic Four members are going to get one. Honestly, they all look pretty sick. I'm actually really looking forward to using probably Human Torch on my move deck a little bit, and Mr. Fantastic too. The Things looks the best, actually. I can't even lie. But yeah, like I said today, these are new reference towards cards. These are coming, or will probably get leaked in terms of text next month. So we'll find out what the new Galactus does, and maybe even Silver Surf, which is currently not here right now. New locations. The video is long enough. Let's just quickly run through. Not that many variants. I will say this Aranya is actually her best variant now, which is slightly annoying, because I was planning to open up spotlights for the new one, but this one's coming out, and then I might save for that one. However, I have to wait and see, because if the bundle's expensive, then who knows, right? And yeah, like I said, that's literally all the variants. Very, very small here. It's nice to see Vulture get a new variant, which is a bundle, so I'll probably have to actually pick that one up. The thing's got a pretty good one too. These are now the summon ritual artwork we have for obviously Dumamu, which is, I think, once again stay the same. Good Hitmarker variant too. More penny cards too. That Domino is actually pretty sick. Oh, Captain Carter as well. Oh, Blaze. Yeah, there's some decent ones. Not that many though. And these are bundles. Once again, I don't think they've all been leaked, or you know, it's very, very small. So guys, massive video. I'm sweating. Hydra Stomper comes out in like 4 minutes time now. So guys, thank you for watching the video, and yeah.